What's up, Sim Races? Laird TJRSim here. So I want to go over the new Project Cars 4 here. Just a first, oh, sorry, Project Motor Racing. But to me, it's Project Cars 4. It's just the next iteration in it. But it's all in all, it's a pretty fun game, actually. I'm enjoying it. But I'll get into the niggles of it and stuff as well, and the pluses that I have seen so far on this. Just out of the box, I'm playing on a triple monitor setup right here, 1440p, 120 hertz monitors. And so all you're seeing is the center screen right here. And I'll go ahead and later through this video, when I start showing you menus and stuff, I'll reduce it down to just a 1440p monitor for you, so you can see the menus and stuff when I talk about them. But I'll explain that part later. At first, I'll just give you a little bit of first impression of it and some drive with this beautiful M4. First off, what you see on the screen here as far as graphics go in this YouTube video is what I see in the game. And of course, here up close, cars look really perfect, but on replay, they're not quite as good. Not as bad as what I'm hearing everybody saying, which, by the way, I don't know what everybody's bitching about, but I'm glad they did. All the top YouTubers did, because they must have heard them and listened to them and corrected a lot of these. I know when I downloaded this yesterday, and then it had a patch to it already today when I went to go play it. So apparently they fixed a lot of the graphical issues. I personally have no graphical issues here. I'll run it with a 4090 graphics card. I'm running it on DLSS on quality setting. And I would say when I'm running a 1440p monitor, just the center monitor, which is, by the way, this is not made for VR yet, or triple screens yet. It doesn't have that support yet. Although the engine they went to works better than in VR, supposedly. That's why we went to this engine instead of, forgot the other popular engine that everybody's using, that Kuno's using and stuff. But anyway, they will have it eventually, but it's a warped feeling to it, kind of like if you ever played Forza Motorsports on a triple or any other game that doesn't support triples, and you get that warpedness to the sides. You get that on here, but you do actually pick up your full left mirror, and the visuals of speed is a lot better as far as having some surrounding going around you. But I'll get to the menu system I said later on it, just with the center screen. But the other pluses when you do have a triple monitor set up is they did it where you can adjust the HUDs and put the HUDs off where you want it, which is really nice. And then of course you can custom view where you have your cockpit settings as far as your rear view mirrors and your side mirrors and stuff, angles and pitches and stuff, which is real good. They carried over a lot of the stuff that you would see in Project Cars 2 and 3 as far as all the adjustabilities, the rain, and all this. And I haven't got into everything. I've been playing this for about 3 or 4 hours, and actually I've been kind of going through some different cars and stuff, having a lot of fun. I have a Dark Horse Mustang, those that follow me, so I immediately went to the Mustang first, the GT4 Mustang. That one actually is a lot of fun to play with. So a little bit crazy on some snap oversteer, a little bit on there, pretty close to my car when it slams second. And second, when the tires are, when I'm in drag mode and the tires are getting worn down, it snaps pretty hard. Or if the tires are cold on not such a grippy surface, you can completely go sideways, even with traction control on it. It's totally fun car to drive. But when you get good grip, it snaps and just goes hard. But this kind of reminds me of that as far as the Mustang goes on here. So pretty cool feedback, although I know this would be technically a way faster Mustang than what I have. But I could have some at least one-to-one, just kind of driving a regular car, a regular sports car, or actually a track car is what a Dark Horse is compared to what a race car would be. So obviously not as high-end as comparison. Never drove a GT4 car before in my life. Wish I could, and maybe I will one day, but right now I'm not. But anyway, I digress. So all in all, super glad everybody bitched about things, because it seems to be working good. Now with DLSS on with triples, it runs fine, no stutters at all. I'm not measuring my frame FPS on here, but it seems plenty fast. You love 60 FPS for me. I wish they had a little counter in game, and I didn't turn on a counter for it. But anyway, I'm gonna just jump into this car and play around with it here, confirm it. We're going to just do a regular fuel runs, right? So this is a practice day, and then it goes to qualifying, and then it goes to racing and stuff. This is Lime Rock. As you can see, the sun's going to be rising. The cane looks beautiful. You do have some of that shimmering, so if you don't like a Assetto Corsa, as far as that goes, where you have that shimmering behind the cars if you're in third view and stuff, which you could change with different settings later on in the game, but my motion going in. But I'm going to go ahead and see drive. And like I said, I'll go through the menus and stuff later, but it automatically starts with the pit. As you can see, it looks freaking awesome to me anyways. And a neat thing, since I'm using the Simagic wheel, sequential works, handbrake works, the H pattern works here as well. And so I can just floor it and with the motion, I got the back end skipping and hopping and feeling the traction loss, which is freaking awesome. Let me turn on the headlights here. Get that mouse out of the way. But what I'm feeling through here is a nice texture with the roads, a nice self-steering when you get on the throttle through there. It's going to open on up and self-steer itself out of the corners. That's all normal, which you would expect. Brakes are hard, and when you brake really hard, I'm going like up this crest here, it always wants to find its center for the tires, especially when they're braking hard as well. So it definitely has that pull to recenter the wheel itself, which I do like. The sounds on this thing are pretty good. They're average, I would say. Some of them sound really cool, and then others, meh. They're good, but they're not so good. One thing you'll notice though that sounds really cool and apparent out of the box, if I'm not talking, is that the brake squeal is pretty fun to hear actually. You do also get a lot of artifacts as far as tire rubbers and stuff coming up and hitting your car. I do wish they would have added the effect to where you would hear them hitting your car and stuff. I know that's always, oh shit, something hitting my windscreen, it makes you jump at first. But they don't have that. That's a shame, but maybe they can add it later. Sound-wise, it's not too bad. Graphic-wise, it looks beautiful. Looks just as good as ACC to me on the 1440 screens. I don't see any problem with it. Braking seems a little bit more, seems like ACC to me as far as braking goes. You really got to hammer on the brakes, get it woed up, and then get it turned in and stuff. But I was able to actually handle slides. So I was at Sebring earlier today with the Mustang and going into the last turn back to the front straight, skipping through the bumps and stuff. I totally drifted the car sideways, and all I did was just hold the wheel. Didn't use any throttle or brake or anything like that, so you don't snap oversteer on it. And I just waited till the car finally grabbed traction. But it was just beautiful. It was just fun to get it sideways and just drifting through there until you can get back straight. These cars inherently have a lot of understeer in it, which they do in real life anyway, I would imagine. At least street cars are always built with a lot of, or sports cars rather. They're street sports cars, that is. Even though they're track cars and stuff, they're built with a lot of understeer in it to try to scare people, basically. You can actually drive them harder than you think in real life. They just got a little bit of a scare tactic going on with the understeers with them. But anyway, I digress. This nothing different, has a lot of understeer. You are going to have to be someone that wants to tweak your car on this one. This is not just a run what you brung kind of thing and just start playing with it and going flat out, although it works pretty good that way. I find that a lot of the cars that I'm running, I don't really have to, I can live with it, right? I can drive around problems, right? So people that, I'm not going to toot my own horn because I'm not the best driver in the world, but generally if you've spent enough years driving like I have, you can pretty much drive anything to stay alive. So, and have some fun with it. So you learn how to drive around these problems. But once you do change some things, like change your handrail bars, like in your front and stuff, you get some of the understeer out, soften it up in the front. Works pretty good. It's actually a immediate difference, so which is nice. Motion wise, there's the screen. As far as how it moves, the movement of the screen, it seems to actually be matching my motion really good. So as my motion's moving up and down, the screen's moving up, so I'm not getting any disconnection really from it, which is really nice. But this game definitely comes to life, for one with a direct drive wheel, and then for two with motion, because you get the transducers with the motion. But if you don't have a motion rig, totally understand. Get you some transducers, that'll be a much better scenario basically, as with transducer. So at least you'll feel engine vibrations and thumps and road textures and stuff like that. But the D-Box picks up all that stuff, and I can set up the levels just fine for each thing. Since what, a 3DOF, so front, back, side to side, and up and down is really what the game changer is for sim racing. But anyway, all in all, a lot of fun to play this. I also don't have any problems with, you'll see the tire temps up here. I don't really overheat the tires too much on here. Out of the box, it comes with a lot of these cars set up with mediums, and that seems about right. I played with softs. I can overheat, at least if I'm pushing the car really hard, I can overheat them pretty good. And then that of course affects your traction, especially on a track like Sebring, or where you're exiting corners like this where you can step it out sideways pretty hard, easy, and it's hard to catch some of these slides once they start really going, but most of them I'm able to catch just fine. So I don't know what all the fuss is about, but like I said, I'm glad they fussed, because it seems to be working great for me, which normally things don't work great for me when they first come out of the box. So this one actually working good. Now the one bitch is AI. As you can see, I was able to catch the slide that the AI knocked me out of my position, but apparently I was on his race line, and he's like, nope, I'm going to push your ass out of the way. And that's what he does. And it seems like they have an incredible traction, because I can ram them and try to pit them, and they just catch their traction just so fast and so easy, a lot easier than you do. And that's really the biggest problem with this game right now is AI. AI is, AMS2 has really good AI. I haven't played iRacing in a couple of years. Last time I played it is when they just came out with AI, and then I played it a year later and it still sucked, and so I just didn't renew since then, because it's such an expensive game. And honestly, I just don't have time. I actually got a real job, so damn it. I'm glad you're seeing this though. Oh, see, that one spun out pretty good now. Oh, that one went off track. This is good. Let's see what he does. This one's going out in the dirt around me. Alright, well, reacted fairly normal, but they got up to speed pretty quick too. Nice. Anyway, little fun things in the video. Where was I? Alright, so as far as physics go in this game, they seem really good to me. They're no worse than ACC to me. Everybody touts OG instead of Corsa. Honestly, I'm not very impressed with physics, and well, physics, yes. Force feedback, no. It takes a lot of tweaking, and you're better off using somebody's mod to get it to feel good. So to me, that's not out of the box experience, right? You got to use all the mods to make it really good, and even the people that love the game admit the same thing as well. So this game reminds me of a lot of ACC actually in the beginning, a little bit in between ACC and Optimalist AMS2 rather, as far as the physics and force feedback is kind of more on par to AMS2. I would certainly, since I like simulation and paid and all that, I actually enjoy some of the Forzas and stuff like that, and GT7 on there. To me, this handles way better than GT7. And then Forza, it's handles better than Forza motorsports as well. Easier to catch slides, and it has a good little I don't know, you feel a little more connected to the road, and the actual force feedback itself is better. So Forza takes a lot of setting adjustments for cars to get it to feel really good, where this one didn't take much for me to have a good fun experience. But I digress. Let me go ahead and let me next to a race real quick, and next session. My menus are off to the left because it's stretched out, and then sometimes the answers are on the right as far as seeing it. So that needs to be rechanged as well, especially when you have triples. You should have your selections in the middle of the screen, which I'm sure it would be because Project Cars 2 does. But I'm going to skip to the next. That's qualifying. All right, we'll do a drive. We'll do a race. There goes the race. It just kind of zooms into each little car. Neat. And then I can skip it with the button over here to the left, or I can hit enter instead of going over there. You want to put it in first gear, holding your clutch, of course, so you don't jump the lights, and then blam bam, thank you ma'am. Back end's nice and spinning up, feeling good. I think I'm starting at the back right now because I didn't do any qualifications, but you can at least see from the back how the cars are handling up in front of you. AI is actually different than what I've seen as far as people complaining online as far as their quality, as far as how good they are, how fast they are. Before, people were able to beat them really easy on 100% and stuff. Out of the box, it comes set on 90, and you're pretty much left in the dark on a lot of them when they're at 90. Obviously, when you're talking and stuff, you're not playing as good as you could if you're really focused on what you're doing. But what I noticed is around 73, 75%, you have a good race. As long as you keep in mind that they'll ram you. If you're a little too slow, stopping in the corner a little too much, they will keep distance from you at times, but sometimes they'll make a mistake and just ram you from behind. But that is what it is. But as long as you consider you got a car that maybe you paid for with your own money, you got a $80,000 sports car out there, and you're running someone else on the track with a little Miata, and they're newbies, and you run faster than them, consider that you need to give them all the room they can, right? They're running in a class higher than they should be. If you ever do track days and stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about, because they segment people by experience levels. And so when you're racing or riding the advanced group, you have advanced people. But sometimes when you get the people that just move to advance, they're not quite up to speed, but they're faster than intermediate and blowing past all those people. But when you get to advance, you're getting to real racers and track day guys that go a lot, right? A lot of experience. So what I'm saying is that treat these guys are novices coming into an advanced group of racing, and then you'll have a little bit easier time. I do notice too, once you get past them, once you get a little bit of distance to them, they pretty much are gone, because I showed you there. So that's kind of is what it is. But you really got to pick your spots to get around them. And that's really where it comes into, if you just adjust your settings as far as how good they are, how fast they are. Because if you set them on 90 or 100%, they just run off from you, and then you never have a problem with them anyway, because you don't catch them. So, but when you're trying to be in the mix of them and stuff, it's a little easier to take your time and get around them when they're a little bit lower grade than you are. If you're just trying to have some fun, I sim race for fun. I don't do it competitively. I have before, but I race them just like anybody else that's ever went down this road of sim racing. But you just got to treat them with a lot of caution. I'm sure they'll get some updates and correct them and make them better, just like Project Cars 2 was the same way. It was actually a lot better in Project Cars 2 coming out of the box other than this. But this is always a problem with most simulators. I don't think I've seen any simulator come out, even iRacing had sucky AI, and to me they're supposed to be the best of the things because they charge such a premium. But everybody has their issues they gotta work out, right? But see there, the guy comes right over to me. I clearly had the line, so they don't expect it, plus he ran me. So, and of course I ran in the back of that car. You gotta really take care. You might wanna run a field that's a little bit less, so maybe they spread out, but a lot of times they bunch up a lot like this. And so this is a really good video as far as showing you how sucky the AI is. So this part is still not fixed from what all the early release adopters have been able to review copies. But all right, well, I think this is enough as far as the graphics and stuff goes, and just the gameplay of it all. All in all, it's a pretty good time. It can be a love-hate relationship, I would think, for this thing, but yeah, it still has a new car fever to me right now, so I'm playing it because honestly I've been pretty bored with a lot of the sim racing that's been out there. It's just another set of tracks that's the same tracks I've already raced on in different sims, and they all have pretty mediocre to decent force feedback. And then really the only game I think that as far as has the most fun, this is the funnest one to play really, is AMS2, because it has such a high selection of tracks, and the AI, you get a really good race out of the AI with them, and single player fun, right? So anyway, I'm gonna drop out of this and go to the menu system and shrink the screen so you can see, and I can just talk you through the settings I have real quick, and then we'll wrap up the video. All right. All right, I'm back here. So just wanted to show you, see how it's just going crazy here through the menus. This is just what it does. It irritates the crap out of me. If you just click on your screen here and just use your keyboard, stop it, then it stops. But other than that, it's irritating. I haven't seen anybody else have this problem, so maybe I'm lucky. All right, so just to go through the selection, I haven't tried multiplayer yet, and I haven't tried career mode. Same thing, it freaks out. What you saw me racing was race weekend. So obviously on race weekend, just to go on that, show you some of the tracks real quick. Let's go. Well, first let's go to the weather. We'll go to the bottom here. The weather is really. Let me move my. I just turn myself off. There we go. So as you see here, you got the summer, spring, winter, autumn, and of course it should change the trees and stuff. I haven't actually noticed. I did winter a while ago, and I didn't notice it looking like the trees were all desolate. It does an AMS2, so I don't know that that really works as far as just the weather itself, maybe changing the temperature. If you put on winter, let's see, winter, and say, I don't know, average, it should be a cooler temperature on there. But anyway, I digress. I'll investigate more as I go, but as I said, this is a first look at it. So then you get the weather type: average, hot, cold, light rainfall, and then random to get surprise and deviations of your weather, low, medium, high. So you get frequency that it may happen during your race. Time progression as well, 1 to 60 right there. And then let's see, let's go up to exit without saving, go up to the next one, opponents. So you got, of course, obviously this is your practice session, qualifying, race session here. I like that they did the gold here. It's kind of a neat little color scheme they decided to go with here. But set your durations, and in your race you can set it by laps, or you can set it by timed events. And then your start time, so that was 6 o'clock a.m. at Lime Rock, right? So it's just going to be getting daylight, so it has dark enough to run your headlights, right? So looks pretty nice actually, but lightly rubbered, pristine, heavily. I was running heavily rubbered in. Seems to get a little bit better. I would honestly run damage off, because when you run damage on, your car gets pretty smashed up. And sometimes you can't even see over the hood because the hood's bashed in so much. And then obviously the car's handling, it's been wrecked, right? So I leave it off now until they fix the AI, because like I said, they're horrendous. Tire warmers, pre-warmers, you can have them off or on. Default's off. I put it on. Might as well go out with hotter tires, because if I was doing a track day myself, I'd have them on warmers. See, exit, and then we go to your, sorry, here we go. Your opponents here. This, I had it on 73%. 73 was well, what it was, where you saw, right? You can catch them when you're starting at the back of the pack, so you can obviously adjust this to your liking, right? And then obviously is when they have updates and stuff, they'll be changing this. Identical vehicles on or off, and then you can add classes here, different classes within your race, which is awesome as well. I will put that on. Vehicle, no, sorry, off. And then number of cars, I was running 15. See, what can you run here? 32, it looks like. 31 cars. It defaults at 15. I'm sure it probably defaults at that because AI sucks. Did I say that yet? All right, exit that one. Oops. Now we'll go up to, well, shit, go back. I want to, this little menu is aggravating. All right, so here we go. All the tracks. I think you got 17 tracks. So here's Brazilian Autodroma. So that's just the non-official name. The Tire Motorsports Park is there. Spa, Daytona, Derby. So I guess they have a licensing problem here. Oh, you can favorite your tracks too, which is nice. You just down here at the bottom toggle favor and run with it. Is this not showing? See if my menu is showing you everything. Oh, you're not seeing my very bottom of my screen for some reason. I'll take my word for it because I'm not going to readjust it. But anyway, you can favorite the tracks as well. Let's see. Derby is actually Donington, by the way. And then Kalami, Lexington, I haven't tried that one. Lime Rock, we played. Mount Panorama, Northampton, I haven't played that one. All the Nürburgrings, Sebring. This one's Spielberg, which is Silverstone, and then which is so a unofficial name, but all these are laser scanned, so I don't know. I guess they ran out of money on some things and couldn't have the same license. So Sam Paul and Zoller, what is it, 17? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 tracks. And then, so that's the tracks. Pretty cool. We'll go back, and then we'll go to cars here. And as far as classes go, you have, we'll just start with the 992 trophies, all your GT3s here. And then you can actually just get the liveries here on the side, right here at the top, which is cool. There's not a ton of liveries, but I would say that the liveries in this one look way better than they did in Project Cars 2 and 3. So I do like the liveries that they have on here. Some nice, decent quality liveries. I hope that they're going to open it up for people to create new ones, because there's a lot of talented people out there. But there's the car list. GT3s, several GT3s here. Ones that I really like. Well, I haven't did this GT3. I raced the GT4. Man, I'm going to have to do this one now. Didn't notice it yet. Mustang GT3. See, GT3 Mercedes. Normally I go to the Mercedes or the Mustang, and the Beamer is usually my favorites. Let me see, but I haven't done these. Got the GTE class as well. Several cars there. GT class. Of course, it lists the horsepower and all that. And again, you have the liveries here. I think someone mentioned, Gamer Muscle, he mentioned that people are either going to love this game or hate it. I think that's probably pretty true here. And a lot of older cars here, which I haven't tried them all. I tried a few, and they're actually pretty fun. Every car does handle distinctly different. Some have really light steering. For instance, the Ford Mustang GT4 has really light steering, but if you go to a different car, like the Nissan or something like that, it has much heavier steering, so you'll want to change the force feedback accordingly to that. All right, so GT1 cars as well. Group C cars, really nice. Nice. Not a ton of them though. LMPs, I love racing LMP. So these are just the normal ones that you'd see. Can't wait to have VR, because when you race an LMP with VR, it's just so immersive. Some really nice LMDHs, beautiful. All right, and then of course all again. I can get all of them here. Oh shit, look at this. SR7, I missed that. Celine, that's all LMDH. What did I miss here? GTOs. And Group 5s, yes. Oh, I love this Beamer. 320 Turbo is a fun car. The Capri is an awesome car too. I haven't played them yet on here, but hopefully it'll be good. I will say though, Project Cars 2, a lot of the cars were just completely undrivable. You had to use someone like Jack Spades, if y'all remember, the guy that created a lot of force feedback profiles for everybody, thank God. And he made the game so much better with the force feedback. With this game, you don't need that. You don't need these extra mods and custom settings. Actually, it doesn't even show that it has that, where you can load in customs like you can for Project Cars 2 and 3. 1, 2, and 3, actually. Actually, I don't know if 1 had it, but 2 and 3 did. Anyway, Alpine, this is a favorite of mine. I really like this car. It handles good. The steering's a little too light, so I had to heavy it up. I haven't tried that one yet. The M4, like I said, that's a fun car. The Camaro is a really good car. And some of these cars, when you set them up, as far as your cockpit goes, they're already come set up really good just out of the gate. And you don't have to even change anything. But once you go to, say, triples, you may want to have to do some adjustments, at least until they officially have triples. This GT4 car is, GT4 Mustang. This is probably one of my favorites as well. A lot of fun to race this one around. Nissan, I don't really care for that one too much. The Mercedes, I love the AMGs. Golden. This Porsche handles like it. I don't like it. It has a lot of jerking of the wheel just to get this thing through the corners and stuff. It's such a short wheelbase car, and it really is pronounced in this, that I know the car in real life would not feel this crappy. So this car just drives like shit. But out of the Porsches. But when I go to the GT3 version of it, I think I went to the GT3 version. Where did I go to? What's another one? No, it wasn't that one. I think it was a GT3 that I went to. Anyway, went to a different Porsche, and it handled so much better. But anyway, but still had a lot of that jerkiness as far as going through corners and stuff, where it would load and unload. It's like the front end's fighting with the back end. It's kind of common for the Porsches on a lot of sim racing games. And so you really have to do some tweaking with the car to make it feel good. But anyway, I didn't favor that one. Supra is pretty cool looking. I don't like driving it as much though. Let's see. GTs, I've not tried these out, but they look dope. And so I like the way they look. The graphics on these look beautiful. Now replays and stuff on here, that is true. What some people say, they're not as they're more grainy looking, but not as bad as what I saw on YouTube. Of course, YouTube has some compression going on as well, so that makes it even worse than what you see on your original screen. But anyway, oh, this MX-5, this is a fun car. No traction control on it, just ABS, but oh man, this is one of my favorite cars to play with. It's really fun, very balanced car. So they got really good skins on this one too. So anyway, and that's it. So let's go into, say, this one, and we'll do Lime Rock here. It's still dark on this one. So I'll just show you the as far as the settings go itself. So you get skip, and I guess I could turn that back on because it doesn't matter. And here you go to your vehicle setup. So as soon as you start off here, you can't see the very bottoms. You see my mouse here, when I go below, here's my rest of my menus. This is quick, spectate, and cockpit setup. So if I go cockpit setup here, of course it does this stupid little thing. Camera movement where you got here, so you can adjust your steer to look. So I like that they have that where it leans in, especially if you're just one screen, or even if you have widescreen, it leans with you. Camera shake, G-force sensitivity, vehicle motion. That seems to be all pretty close to what I have. Free look speed, that one I had up to 200% because it just takes too long for it to go over to look to your left, look to your right. It's just way too long. So 200% was a little bit better. Just a little suggestion here. Seats, as you see here, it looks pretty good. What I usually like to do is turn my wheel straight up and down because I'm using not a round wheel, but the one with the LCD on it, the Simagic one, and I usually try to line them up, top of my rim to that rim, and then I know I have my height right. And you can also do that with tilt as well in this case, but in this particular mode right here, and you can turn the steering wheel on and off. So if you do like it the way it looks here and you don't want to confuse it with the wheel there, I love that you can just easily turn it on and off. You don't have to jack with it. So maybe I like this setting a lot, but I can't see mirrors at all. So you may want to go out some, but now it's like I got a helmet right there, right? So I can't go out too far. That's about as far out as I can go with it, but you get the idea, right? So you can adjust everything. You can adjust your mirrors here. Let me go out here. So you can't really see your mirror too well there, but my center mirror right here, you can see where I can adjust it here and then change the pitch of it as well. And then they got right mirror. So these are going to really come more in handy when triples are in effect, because then you can really see all your mirrors. Let's see my left mirror here. You can see me adjusting it left and right on the left here, and then the same thing with the, oops, not that one, this one here, the pitch and the pitch and the yaw for it. So then you just save it and then move on, right? So that's that setting. I'm going to exit without saving. Headset, excuse me, HUD setup. This is just your, you want to have your penalties on, your virtual mirror, your deltas on, your maps, and all that stuff. Pretty easy, normal stuff. Now this is the part I like, the layout. So this is where you can just grab it and just literally move it where you want it. So I'm going to play on this screen. I want to do like this. Actually, this normally is like here and there, and then the tires right there, and then fuel. Normally when you do this, it's set up just like that. Oh, you can change your time there as well. But you can adjust it just where you want it, or I think you can turn it off even too. Enable grid to snaps. You can turn that on. Previous widget, next widget. Reset. Resets it all to where you had it. But I normally play this in the triples because it's just, like I said, a little bit more immersive. But I just wanted to show you the menu setup. Alright, so having back further through, that is it. See, we got vehicle setup. Essentials. This is your essentials. I haven't had to use this at all yet, but you have your, this is where I go, tire and chassis. The ones I really set here myself, and I looked at Gamer Muscle, what he had on his too, and it reminded me that yes, I do like a less input for my steering rack rate. So I run mine at 1.3, and that just means I don't have to turn the wheel. And so if you haven't won the wheel that you're driving with, and on screen is 1:1. And even when you go to 1.3, it's still 1:1 between the two views, but car turns in more, right? So it's a 0.3 factor, 30% more turning basically, right? And then your steering stiffness is basically your resistance of your steering wheel itself, and then your steering dampener, that's dampening effect, right? I generally run this at 1, and steering stiffness, depending on the car, I leave it at 3, but I always run this at 1.3. Also, you got your strength, direct feel, alignment boost, friction, and all that. Go to Gamer Muscle's video. He explains it really well on how to do it. But basically, your strength is your overall strength of everything here. I normally run 1, but some cars are just too strong, and I'll run this down to 0.92. Rack feel, I'll leave it there. This is from a rack and pinion. Steering itself, so what you feel through your steering rack, which a lot of cars now drive by wire, which don't have a steering rack, right, so to speak, like the old style of the rod going down to a steering knuckle. And then anyway, so you don't have what you get through here is you get a lot of feel through that steering rack, right? So you can adjust the strength of that. Alignment boost is just how quick it'll go back to center. Load boost, I don't know, leave in comments if you remember what load boost is. I don't have a chart on it. Friction is obviously like tire friction. Then EQ, mid and high, these are just like your think of it as stereo, right? So low is your low frequencies that pick up the strength of those you feel through your wheel. The mid is your mid range, and the high is your high range, the one. So mid, generally, I agree with what I saw on Gamer Muscle. You can turn them off. On some cars I leave around 0.5, so adjust it yourself. But I say you're all in all pretty safe with around a 0.5 mid, because what this is your curbing. And so when you hit curbs, you notice how much it affects your wheel and stuff. So it's depending on how much effect you want on there. And your high is more of your high vibrations, your granular feel of the road surface itself. So you can turn that one up quite a bit if you want to feel more of that through your wheel and stuff. But generally speaking, I'd set this exactly the same for every car, and then I'll adjust the strength if I need to. I won't say I never, but some of them I did add some alignment boost, and I went up to 0.4 on alignment boost because it just wasn't centering quick enough. The Alpine A110 was, for example, was the one that I had to add some alignment boost so it would center up better. Then it was perfect, and then the strength, I think on that one I left at 1. But anyway, play with it. This is what it's for, right? But anyway, all in all, that is the setup. Then we got suspension, adjust to your heart's content. I'm not going to go over how to do that. There's plenty of videos online for that. Engine and drivetrain, so you got your fuel here, brake bias, traction control, and all that. Which, by the way, you can set your traction control, ABS, on your wheel as far as adjustments. You can even set your force feedback settings on your wheel, so if it's too strong, too weak, you can just adjust it on the fly. If you remember Project Cars 2, that's how it was too in the back in the day. The pit stop strategy, so then you can create those as well. Repair all, none, mechanical, aero, all that stuff. Refuel, how much you want to refuel. And then load setups. Usually load a good name by I added 10 liters of fuel, right? So load your setups so you can have them per car. And you have to do these per car. And I would suggest that you change your force feedback per car. That way it's individual to that particular car. Alrighty, so I don't need to drive because we already done that. We will exit and go back. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here is the settings here. It was kind of where the hell they are. You can't see it on my screen, but right here on the far right at the bottom will be your cog setting. So you can go to your settings here. This is where you can run your display graphics and all that. I'll just go through what I have. Obviously right now I'm just running one screen, windowed, vertical sync off, frame rate off. Graphics with triples, this is what I run with triples. If you want to, they're 1440p, 120 hertz monitors, MSIs. What is this? Optics Mag 321 CQR if you're interested. Object, I would just do a snapshot of this on the screen. Pause the video, do a snapshot, and I'm going to move it down to the rest of it. So you can get the rest of it on here. I run DLSS, like I said, on quality. That's because I have NVIDIA. If you have AMD, you'll run the Fidelity FX. Actually right here. Post-processing, analyzing off. run that. These are all the settings that I'm running. Field of view 60. Oh, right. And it runs spectacular on triples. So audio, here's another one. Here's a little hint to you. Music, I turn it down. That's not the hint. The voice volume comes in at 100%. The crew chief is screaming at you at 100%. So I suggest 50%. That's about right. Player car volume, I play with this different. Obviously, it lowers your player car volume down. And then you can still hear your opponent's cars around you as well with your volume at 100%. But what I was trying to pick up was the ambient noises around the road, screeching of the tires and stuff. So if you lower your volume of your player car volume down, you do hear a little bit more of the screeching of the tires. And then, but you don't hear any of the pops and giggles of pops and hits of the dirt and stuff so much at 100%. So you have to turn it down a little bit more if you go off track. Oh, it's another thing I want to mention. When you go off track, it's not a glass of ice like in a lot of games. It actually has traction out there, like mud or dirt would have somewhat of traction, which I noticed that a lot when I went the first one. I went off track a lot, and then the parts that are paved have a good decent amount of traction as well. It's not just glassed over, so it's like the whole surface, whether you're in the dirt, bouncing through the dirt because you went off track, it all has a good texture. I would say that the penalty system sucks on it so far right now. Kind of reminds me of Gran Turismo 7, so it'll give you a little penalty and a countdown for you to slow down to qualify it out, or you'll just get a penalty. I don't know what the penalty does yet because I haven't tried career mode, but I just see them in the race weekend. Didn't seem to affect me any. Even if I got a penalty, I still got first place. So I don't know if it's broke or not, but that's annoying. So maybe they can add a turn off feature for that. People that just want to have fun and not worry about the penalties. Anyway, assist, here's it all. Pretty much like P-Cars 2 and 3. Authentic. I run authentic on everything, so whatever would normally be there. But this is my settings. You can take a look at it. Control binding. So comes up with the mouse, of course. I don't know why you'd have a mouse with this one, but it automatically recognized Simagic Alpha Ultimate out of the gate, and actually it even set up a lot of this stuff for me, some of it. But I went through and just still clicked on each one, and there's a calibrate at the bottom of the screen here as well that you'll calibrate your wheel just like you would on any other sim racing game. So let me see, input devices. Here's of course your settings. So you can turn in the steering wheel and gas and clutch and brake and all that, right? These are my settings if you want to copy them. Low boost, I have on brake feel boost 20, smoothing off, headroom I just leave at 100. I wouldn't go higher than this because I did hear from someone, I forgot what sim racer I heard it from, but it's for when you crash and it really gives you a hard hit. Actually, with a direct drive wheel on mine, I could probably maybe lower it to about 80 at least and run with that, because it became pretty violent when I crashed and I tried to hold on the wheel for half a second and it's like, holy shit. But haptic strength, this is basically your Logitech stuff, right? Or of course now the Fanatec copycat of it, and then you copy the same type of feature, right? I forgot what they call it, smooth force or true force, right? Or one of them's true force, I don't know. But anyway, I have a Logitech one. I like it on the Logitech wheel though. And this actually is on consoles as well. So anyway, throttle dead zone, set what you want, and everything else is pretty basic stuff, all right? Preferences, I will save that one actually because I like that. Here you change it. I'm in America, so I put everything on Imperial. ADB ports, and it already configured it to my D-Box. So what came here default, I didn't mess with, didn't have to change it. It got it, so really good. Like I said, the D-Box makes this game so much more fun than regular. And it's not too crazy. If you notice my seat moving around, it wasn't too crazy on there. But that's about it as far as it goes. If you're interested in seeing me play like a career mode, you know, people interested in it, I'll walk through the career mode with you and show you some gameplay of that. It should be pretty fun. I do know, just briefly, when you go into this career mode, you got new career, you pick it. And then you have, it's telling you this intro, and then you get your teams and sponsor and budget and all that, right? So that's what you got to do. But I haven't went to it yet. I was just giving you my first impressions of what I thought so far. I'll give you some impressions of the career mode. I think you earn money through there as well. And you got a budget, right, that you got to spend. So it should be actually pretty fun. So anyway, if you have any questions, this is a longer video than I wanted, but leave them down below. Answer them as quick as I can. And that's it. I am out. Have fun.